Hello, my name is Prime, and welcome to the 2025 Prime Simulation Christmas Special episode. First of all, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I hope everyone is able to enjoy this very special time of year, and as per tradition, we are going to start out here in American Truck Simulator and then hop over to Euro Truck Simulator 2, hauling 2 deliveries in today's video, each of which going to Winterland. So on the ATS side of things, we're here in Monroe, Louisiana, and we're going to head through the city itself over to a portal on the west side of town, hauling metalwork supplies from this steel facility here to a craft shop in Winterland. So without further ado, let's get this Kenworth T680 Next Gen started up and get on the road. All right, let's get rolling. Once again, happy holidays to everyone. Merry Christmas. It is a wonderful time of year, and of course had to do the Winterland event, the community event going on right now for ATS and ETS2. Had to do it in today's video, of course. Hopefully everyone is able to enjoy this special time of year, as I mentioned already, whether it be with friends, family, or whatever. Hopefully everyone is able to stay safe and enjoy this special time of year. And at very least, I hope you are enjoying doing lots of trucking here in American Truck Simulator and of course in ETS2 as well. So many different community events going on, regardless of the, well, Christmas event with this beautiful trailer that I've got on here, which is part of the World of Trucks community event. It is truly a wonderful time of year and great to be back here in today's video. So as I said, this is a 2-part video really. We're doing a delivery here in ATS, and then of course we'll be heading over to ETS2 where we'll be doing a delivery in the Nordic Horizons DLC. Obviously this part being here in the Louisiana DLC in Monroe. City I haven't been to yet, to be honest with you. And well, we're hitting it today, which is absolutely fantastic. And because of us having to go to the magical portal of Winterland, which, well, one of them happens to be on the west side of Monroe, I decided, well, let's actually go through the town or city itself. That way we get to see the absolute beauty of this particular city itself here in the Louisiana DLC before we hit Winterland, which has seen a bit of an update with this community event. So for those who do not know, the Winterland event is ongoing, obviously, for ATS and ETS2, where you can haul various goods through the external contracts with the specialty Christmas trailers to Winterland itself. There are various locations in Winterland. Obviously, as I said, today we're hauling actually metalwork supplies from the Steeler or Apex Steel facility here. My word, that was a very long light there. And we're taking this metal supplies to a craft shop in Winterland itself, which is absolutely fantastic. I love the, well, more realistic side of things, taking metalwork supplies to an actual craft/toy shop in Winterland. It's going to be really neat. And again, Winterland has seen, I believe, a bit of an update, at very least with some AI traffic going around. So we'll have to see what that's all about when we get there very, very soon. But it's great to be back here in ATS overall. I mean, what can I say? Love the game, and 2025 has been amazing for the ATS community as a whole. A few major DLC releases from the map side to other content as well. Significant game updates that came along with everything. Just amazing to see how the community grew, of course, here on the Prime Simulation channel and as a community overall for the ATS world, let alone the content that happened. 2025 truly was a fantastic year for the game, and it really sets up 2026 in a great manner as well. If there's anything we can go off of based off the information we already know about what's coming up with 2026, or at least on the potential for 2026 in terms of map DLCs and so on, it's looking very, very good. And there's also been some teasers, I know, and SA Software's been doing a few things with their Christmas streams recently, talking about some potential projects or projects that are coming up soon as well. There's some different, more classic trucks and so on. To believe, if I'm saying that information correctly, that have been teased that will be coming for ATS, which is great to see. Maybe not some of the initial trucks we would have expected to see in American Truck Simulator, but they are coming nonetheless at some point, which is great once again to have, well, more options here in the ATS world for the sake of trucks. Base game, that is, regardless of mod status, if you happen to enjoy some third-party modifications. either way, great to see some different content coming up for 2026, or at least what's expected, and I think it's going to be a great year overall. And I mean, talking on the channel side of things, and I'll touch on it probably in the next segment in ETS2 as well, it has been incredible to see. 2025 has, well, pretty much blown every single record imaginable for the channel out of the water and surpassed any expectation that I could have. So to that end, I say thank you from the bottom of my heart very, very much. Incredible to see the amount of growth the channel has had. We're now, well, pretty much at 11,000 subscribers, and depending on when you're watching this video, it may already be over it, just depending on, well, how things go. But things are increasing incredibly quickly, at least for my standards, on the subscriber side of things, which is fantastic. Yes, it's just a number, and I enjoy doing this because it is my hobby, and I enjoy doing the content creation side of things and everything that comes along with it. But it is absolutely fantastic to see that there's a growing community out there that, of course, supports me, and I must say a huge thank you for that, because it allows me to do things that I never thought I'd be able to do, and in some ways it allows me to justify spending time doing this while this isn't my full-time job. And I don't see it as a job, but realistically there are other priorities in life. But when there is a monetary side to this hobby of mine now, and well, I appreciate the support that you all give me, whether that's just watching a video for those who support directly in a monetary fashion, for my channel members and so on. Thank you so much. I do truly appreciate it, and it allows me once again to do this and continue to improve the video quality for you, and of course enjoy every moment genuinely as much as I possibly can, which is great to see itself. But regardless of the numbers, regardless of the channel growth itself in that sense, I want to thank you so much for the continued opportunities you give me with, well, the interaction that you have. Again, those numbers do play directly into the opportunities for me to get early access to various content here on American Truck Simulator, ETS2, and other games alike that it gets sent as well. I do appreciate all of your support. You mean a lot more to me than I think many of you may think, and I truly appreciate every single one of you that have been following the channel over 2025 even, or even more recently, and especially those who have been following for many years so far. It has been an incredible journey, to say the least. There's no other really way I can put it. It has been incredible, and it's only getting started. There are some really exciting things that will be announced very, very soon. Well, nudge, nudge, right around New Year's, which is going to be incredible in its own right. And I am so excited, so incredibly excited to see where the Prime Simulation channel is going to go in the near future. All right, let's pull into the magical portal section here of the map. It's all the particles. Get the truck stop, and we're gonna pull back just into the parking spot a little bit, so we're half decent. And let's head to Winterland. And just like that, welcome to Winterland. And if we look at the map, it looks like the map itself hasn't really changed by the looks of it. Seems like most of the routes are still here that we know and love, and we don't have to go too far from where we spawned in here. So let's go ahead and get the truck started and then get rolling on the snowy roads. And Winterland, I think, has been a great addition to the ATS/ETS2 world for these community events on many, well, levels. But I think the exciting thing about this, and what has already been talked about with Winterland before, and some of these more specialty worlds, shall we say, for the different community events, is the experimentation side. Now, I think there have been some details changed here in Winterland. Like, even though the main road layout may not have changed, I think some of the extra scenery, there may be some sections that have been given a little fresh touch or some extra detail. But I think the most impressive thing about these are just the different physics of how the snow and ice interact with the trucks, and ultimately with the potentials for snowstorms as well here in this area. As far as I know, I think that's one of the biggest benefits of Winterland itself is, for example, like trying to slide, and the truck is using all its ABS to try and stop there because it's slipping. The snow physics, I believe, is a true, well, experimentation and basically prep for seasons in American Truck Simulator and ETS2 respectively. Now, I know it's a huge task, and I think it's a task that SCS Software completely will understand on how to implement this in changing seasons and if the whole map becomes more dynamic in that sense. But the Winterland world is truly a great expression of what, especially northern climates of, say, here in American Truck Simulator, could experience. And we got some AI vehicles, which is fantastic. Lovely to see. I think it's a great expression of what we can kind of expect to see coming very soon to American Truck Simulator, or at least hopefully soon. And I think a lot of you would agree that it's much needed. Areas such as, obviously, Washington State, so on, the Montanas, as we get into, well, even the Dakotas, and honestly, most of the areas we have in American Truck Simulator from our central region north, snow is present, and it's definitely one that I think, well, obviously is highly more realistic to have an additional layer to the season element, but I think it would be a fun challenge as well to integrate into the whole area. Just having the snow and different storms and how it would affect deliveries if you want to have it enabled. I think the option to have seasons enabled would be a good thing to have in the game, not just have it, you know, set out right away, because I'm sure some will get annoyed by the fact that it could be affecting one way or the other with the different systems that would go through. Either way, I think it's a great experimentation, and Winterland has been a huge success from what I can tell in the community. Many of you enjoy it. I think the Halloween event we had just recently this year, maybe the world fell flat a little bit. It was incredible levels of detail, but I feel like some of the maze section kind of got out of hand, so some got more frustrated with it. But I think here with Winterland, with everything or most of the roads being known, I think it's a great addition to the games, and one that I highly recommend you check out if you don't already have a World of Trucks account. It's free, by the way, and it just allows you to participate in these community events, haul some different deliveries, as we lost traction and then we gained traction just before we went into the snowbank, which is very good. It just allows you to interact with these different worlds, basically, and it's a lot of fun, so I highly recommend it if you haven't checked it out already. And just like that, we are pulling into Ridolf's Crafts. Let's go ahead and figure out where we actually got to park this thing. Oh, it's right there. Well, that's not too bad, so we'll swing around here, make sure we got plenty of space to do so, make it fairly easy for ourselves. Because if there's anything that I could do as Prime Simulation, I could make this really simple reverse extremely complicated. But I'm going to try not to do that. And I must say, I must also appreciate the sounds of the truck over the snow. The crunching of the snow and the compression underneath the tires. Kind of that rumbly crunch. Really, really, really good. Highly realistic. And as a Canadian, I can confirm. It is highly realistic and amazing to hear. And the physics, as what you can expect driving on a nice road, especially with a significant amount of weight. And just like that, part one of this Christmas special is complete. And I think it's time to head over to the Nordic Horizons DLC and ETS2 and spread some Christmas cheer over there as well. Well, hi again. Long time no see. A warm Christmas welcome from here in Tromsø, Norway, here in the Nordic Horizons DLC. And for this ETS2 leg of the Christmas special, we have to travel from all the way down here at the airport, down right along the coast, all the way up through Tromsø, before making our way over to Winterland to deliver our roasted nuts that we're hauling in this delivery with our Scania super truck. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get our Scania started up and head off to Winterland. Alright, let's get rolling once again. Welcome to ETS2, everyone, and for those who may not have watched the ATS side of things, well, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and hopefully you enjoy this special time of year with, well, hopefully friends and family or whoever you may have around, and stay safe. That's at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Hopefully everyone enjoys this very special time of year doing some trucking, because there's plenty of trucking to do here in ETS2, ATS, and all around because of the various special events going on right now. Obviously, this is part of the Winterland event, the holiday event here for ETS2 and ATS respectively, and of course we've got the cruising Nordic Horizon still on as well for us here in ETS2, and cruising Louisiana on the ATS side as well. So plenty of stuff going on, but may we just say, what beautiful scenery here in the Nordic Horizons DLC, in an area that, well, haven't been to quite yet, as my camera doesn't know what it wants to do, but I guess the chase camera is okay. Went to go back interior, but it had a mind of its own. Absolutely stunning. This area of Nordic Horizons, well, Nordic Horizons in general, is absolutely beautiful. As I've said many times before, this is by far the best DLC for ETS2 to date, in my opinion. You can argue as that, but I think many of you will agree. It is truly stunning to see stuff like this. It's just incredible to see overall, and well, it makes an event like this even more special. And of course, we'll be heading up to Winterland itself, and we're going to a different depot today compared to, well, for those who are watching all the way through the video, the ATS side of things. We delivered to a toy shop, or a kind of a craft shop basically, and we're going to a different facility in the Winterland event, which is great. Can't quite remember which one, but we'll find out in very few moments time, but I know it's a different one, so that's all that matters. And oh, side note here, when I was driving to the delivery point here, because external contract, can't teleport around, there's a long story about that, but whatever, that's a rant for another day. This whole underground section here, I was highly impressed, because I ended up going to the gas station just over here. That's where I had spawned in before taking the job. And it is incredible to see this underground network. There's a full-on roundabout underneath the ground here in this tunnel network. So incredibly cool. And it's details like these that obviously are realistic. That's what exists in real life, but it's really great to see it here in the game. And admittedly, SES Software could have really fudged probably how some of these road networks go in terms of what stays above ground and what doesn't, but including these really cool underground networks across the Nordic Horizons DLC as a whole really does add to the whole, well, charm of it, really, and just the realism part as well. It is incredible to see. I've talked about it so many times, and I will continue to talk about it, I am sure, for many years to come. And it really is exciting for what the future of the, well, ETS2 map side of things really is, because if this is what we can expect moving forward, at a minimum, we're in for a treat, my friends. And it just depends, obviously, on what happens with computer hardware. Consumer hardware is continually evolving so quickly. It makes SES Software's job, I guess, a little bit easier, but also a little bit harder at the same time, because there are an ever-growing spectrum, shall we say, of hardware available in players of different levels. So it really does add a layer of complexity, but it also allows, well, this beautiful detail work, like what we're seeing here in Tromsø. So we gotta head up and around. We're gonna make a little bit of an extra, well, length of delivery. We're just gonna, I guess that's more of like a warning light, I guess. They're just flashing yellow, so I'm going to assume that that's just a bit of a warning. Hopefully I'm not just running lights. I should be slowing down even more. Comment down below if you understand those blinking lights in this region more than I do. Admittedly, I'm not that great at remembering all of the road rules of various regions, as I do have a number of regions to try and get used to that I am, well, not used to, simply put. So give me some grace if you are, you know, familiar with the region, and also just let me know. I am happy to learn. I just need to learn, and sometimes I just need to do things in these videos to learn because I can't think of it beforehand all the time. But as I said, we got to head up to the E6, I do believe, which is the main one going kind of along the coast here in the Nordic Horizons DLC, or at least here in Norway itself. Got to head up to the E6, and there is a gas station there that has a Winterland portal at it, which is fantastic. The magical portals here in ETS2 that allow us to transform our truck and trailer, or transport, I should say, to the very special Winterland itself. And a spot that in just the last segment I talked about it being a great addition for ATS and ETS2 because of the experimentation for snow. And I think it is something that honestly I was kind of hoping to see here in ETS2 already, with especially being in this region in the Nordic Horizons, seasons. I understand that seasons is a highly complex task to try and implement into these games, with especially the existing maps and all the assets, because essentially every single tree, surface, and so on that are mapped in right now would have to have an alternate version in the game file somewhere that then gets slowly replaced, basically, depending on the time of year. And that adds a whole lot of complexity and size to the games that maybe there's different layering and different techniques they could do over time to help get at least snow into the game. But the problem is that SES software, and I'd say this is a problem, it's both a pro and a con. The pro side of this statement is that the SES software map team like to do every single thing to an incredible high degree of quality. Every time a new DLC is released, every time a new update is released, or at least most of the time, they do their very, very best to improve on the quality that was set before and raise the bar even higher. And a feature like snow is something that they're not going to just scrape in. They're not going to just put a layer of snow over everything, call it a day, maybe some general road physics, and, you know, that's whatever. They're going to try and make sure it's implemented with, again, a high degree of accuracy, and make sure it looks really good and integrates very well into their systems. Seasons is, again, right along with that then. So if you're going to have snow, you need a transition, and that's where the pro and con side of things come in. Some other developers will just probably bring in snow and just say, you know what, that's it. It's going to be basically what we see here, with nice clear roads and green lush vegetation. And then with an option, or just you hit December and the game automatically transforms some areas to snow. There's no transition there. There's no storms. There's no nothing. Again, a very big plus and pro of SES software. I'd say it's more to the plus, because at least inevitably, or eventually, if we are able to get seasons and snow and so on into the games, ATS and ETS2, that is, it should be highly realistic, look great, and run great, which is really exciting. And again, Winterland is one of those experiments, really, for how that could work on, again, a very small scale. But I'm sure every year they are learning off of it, and being able to just genuinely improve on what to expect for potential seasons and other snow weather patterns, basically, that could come across the games. There's so much happening here for ETS2 as well. A couple new map DLCs coming up in the near future, and 2025 overall was a great year. Release of some beautiful DLCs, amazing feature updates throughout the year as well. 2025 was a great year all around, I must say. And I talked about a bit on the channel as well, personally. And for those who may have skipped over the ATS side of things, I want to say a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart once again for all of the support throughout 2025. 2025 was a record-breaking year here on the channel, crossing many milestones I never thought really we'd hit, but then also breaking records and rewriting what my expectations were for, say, on a number side, video performance, or just different interactions and so on. So many amazing things happened in 2025 for the channel, and then of course the other games alike. So incredibly honored and so excited for 2026 and for what is to come very soon. And keep an eye out here on the channel because it won't be too long, and then there will be something, well, giving you a little bit of a hint of what 2026 will hold and the future of Prime Simulation. So without further ado, let's head to Winterland. And once again, welcome to Winterland. And to conclude this Christmas special, we're going to be hauling our roasted nuts to the town center, and I'm sure it will be buzzing with life with some of the recent updates to this area. All right, let's just make sure we don't T-bone some traffic here coming along, because as I pulled into that spot to do said mini intro, I nearly took out a car in doing so. So we got to make sure that we keep an eye on the traffic around here in Winterland, because it is more prevalent, that is for sure. We saw a couple cars on the ATS side of things, not too much because of where we were driving, but I'm sure going right down to town square itself, right down in the middle of Winterland, I'm sure there will be plenty of life and buzzing around there, which is absolutely fantastic to see. Got to make sure we don't slide off the road here. Obviously, if you watch the American Truck Simulator side of things, you will be well aware that obviously, even though we didn't have any major issues, you can lock up your wheels and also just go sliding. You can go sliding pretty easily here in Winterland because of the physics of the snow and ice and the handling itself, which is great to see. And as I mentioned before coming here, this truly is a great experiment for what we could potentially see in ETS2 moving forward, which would be absolutely fantastic. I think many of you would agree that having seasons especially, but even having snow and some different weather conditions would be great to see, regardless of it being realistic or not. Just having the opportunity of having snow deliveries in many areas would be so cool. And just seeing those regions in, snow and ice covered areas, especially in Nordic Horizons DLC, for example, that would be truly stunning, incredible to see, and add a layer of challenge, especially if you're in the middle of a snowstorm. Conditions may change pretty quickly, and your delivery could take longer than expected. Again, a layer of complexity that I think would be a great addition, or welcomed addition at least, to the games itself. But as I said, we've got to head down to Town Square, which is going to be wonderful. I love the Winterland map. I truly do. I think if STS Software can replicate for future events, that is, the kind of charm of Winterland itself, I think that's great. The Halloween event was cool, but as I mentioned before in previous episodes, and indeed the last one a little bit, the last segment, the problem with the Halloween event, in my view, was although it was cool, a lot of players got, turned off by the fact that the whole maze bit was really complex to kind of navigate your way through, and you could genuinely take a long time to fit through, or your truck may just not actually fit very well, depending on which route you take. Having all of those hidden roads off the start was a neat idea. Added a challenge to it. Many people liked it, many people disliked it. But I think something like Winterland is a nice neutral area where you have lots of opportunity to drive around. It's a nice area, more scenic. You know where you're going. I think it's a nice addition that a lot of people do agree is just a great thing, without it being, too complex in terms of it being a challenge. Some people skating, which is wonderful to see. They need to clear more of their rink there. And they've left it pretty snow-covered. Personally, I would be out there clearing that as much as I can to open up as much space as possible. But, to each their own. To each their own, indeed. There's the DJ stand. Blaring some music, which is great. Great to hear. We gotta pull in here and deliver. Do we have to reverse? No, we can just pull straight in. Well, isn't that lovely? We're going to the Christmas supply spot, which is great. They definitely need some market supplies here for the roasted nuts. That makes a lot of sense. I like the realism with some of these deliveries, which is great to see. Well, thank you all so much for watching this Christmas special, as we have some wonderful Christmas music in the background, courtesy of the DJ just behind me. It is absolutely wonderful to be back here in the Winterland events for both ATS and ETS2. And once again, a huge thank you to everyone around here on the Prime Simulation channel for the support over 2025, and 2026 is so exciting to me. I've got so much planned, so many things that you are about to hear very, very soon, and it is so exciting overall. Can't wait for it. But again, 2025 was a fantastic year, and hopefully everyone has a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and stays safe during this special time of year. Thank you all once again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.